Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another video. Greetings from mainland China. Today we are in a lesser traveled northeastern city, a city called Songyuan. And when you first arrive, you can see the 12 core principles of socialism right there on display, which is a common sight. And then behind that, something I found very interesting. It says 国家卫生城市. That means national hygienic city, which I find fascinating. I'm gonna have to learn a bit more about why they refer to it as that. But hygiene is definitely a good thing. And I'm gonna work my way up. I wanna get to the Songhua River. It's one of my favorite rivers in China. I think it's just beautiful. And luckily, there is a part of it right here in Songyuan City. Just outside of the train station. Not surprisingly, we've got a bunch of restaurants and hotels. And the city is definitely, you can see, I don't know what they would classify Songyuan as. Colloquially, China kind of breaks their cities down into tiers. So tier 1 would be the best cities, like the biggest and most developed. So for example, Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen. Now it goes down, 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 and I don't know what the lowest tier would be. I've heard of tier 5 cities. I would guess that a city, just based on my experience in China, looking at this city, it's got kind of a rough look to it, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I prefer that over the big developed mega cities. I like these smaller cities. I think they've got more character. This would probably be like a tier 4 city, just by Chinese standards, maybe even a tier 5. But like I said, to me, that makes absolutely no difference. I prefer smaller cities. I think they've got more character. They've got their own charm. They're more interesting too. Here's something pretty interesting. Just across the street here, you can see there is a business over there, and it's aimed at North Koreans, and you can see it's actually got Korean writing on the building there. And just across the street, you can see a massive, they call it a shopping mall. Based on the signs I can see, it looks like it's more of a wholesale kind of market rather than what we would think of as a shopping mall. But the interesting thing I want you to take note of, well, you probably won't notice this, it's got Chinese writing, and it's called the Bater shopping mall. But then if you look down between that red rectangle and then the red English text above it, in between there's some kind of weird looking writing. That is Mongol writing. There's a large ethnic minority here in this area that is the Mongolian minority. So you can see they've got their writing on all these signs, which is really interesting. I've actually never seen that before in China, but here it's on literally every sign. You can see the Chinese characters on the bottom, but above it is the Mongolian writing, which is completely foreign to me. It's so interesting. Tiniest puppy. Look at this. Wow. 真可爱. Oh, that is so cute. So we're at one of these walking street areas. I don't know if this is the main one. I just totally stumbled upon it. But they're selling everything. I mean, they've got clothing shops, food shops, fruit, produce shops. Pretty much anything you can think of, they're selling over here. And I was talking to a local guy, asked him if he could read the Mongolian print. He said not at all. So, just give you guys a view of this market though. Kind of see what it looks like. Give you a little walk through. So, I haven't seen any other whiteys or foreigners of any color out here. So, I'll probably stand out a little bit. I might get some looks, but I'm sure everybody be friendly. Hey! 下午好，吃饭了吗？打了招呼。Yeah, a lot of people in these kind of areas will be kind of, some people are outgoing, you know, they'll say hello, and then some people are kind of standoffish. You know, they're kind of like, what? A foreigner? You know, they're just not used to seeing it, but most people are friendly. What's the word? What's the way to put it? they're curiously friendly. It's like a friendly type of curiosity with a lot of these people. And I gotta say, you know, when you first come to a city, you often get different vibes, and sometimes it's not a good one. But I gotta say, the vibes I'm getting here are actually quite friendly. I didn't know what this guy was doing. I was like, is he just exercising? But he uses this and it controls that little fountain. So it gives people an incentive to do some exercise. And you can see how big the shopping area is, the shopping street, because it goes all the way this way, goes back this way, goes over this way, and if you come over here, it goes all the way down. So I mean, this is not a small area. And I'm here at an off time, and so you can see it's still pretty lively. So I'm here in the square, one of the squares here in Songyuan. This is called Huju Square. And from across the street, I could hear these people over here practicing their music. So I came over to take a look, and they're super friendly. They're just telling me about the city, and the guy was like, oh, sit down, hang out for a while. I was like, I don't really have enough time, but super nice. I really do have a very good first impression of Songyuan. The people here have been really, really nice to me so far. A lot of smiles, a lot of greetings. Sometimes you go to a city and you just feel that everybody's cold, you know, nobody smiles at you, but here it hasn't been that way. Maybe it's just my luck, I don't know. But you can see this is cool. It's got the Mongolian writing on it, and then it's in a Mongolian style. They've got some major construction going on over here. I don't think this video captures the scope of how massive these are. Across the street over there, you can see that building with the domes on top. Now over here, everything is permeated with Mongolian, well, there's elements of Mongolian culture all throughout. You know, the language is there. You can see elements of their art. Definitely some unique and interesting architecture over here. You got more of these domes, and they just go on and on. I'm seeing a lot of them out here. Okay, we're getting closer to the river, the Songyuan River. And to my right, you'll see China Tobacco. And if you look about 2 stories up, you'll see a bunch of red characters. Those are the 12 socialist core principles, which is kind of interesting to see those plastered across a tobacco company, right? It's just different over here, you know. They have wanted those 12 core principles to be spread all over the country, and they really are. Walking through kind of it's just a roadside park kind of thing. But over here on this red board, it's got the 12 core principles of socialism. Again, I told you they're everywhere. Okay, well, it looks like we're gonna get a little detour on our way to the river, which, hey, that's what traveling's all about. I found this area, I saw a sign that said something about the wetlands. So it's kind of like a wetland park. It looks quite nice though, and I'm just gonna walk through here. This is the cool thing about coming to new cities, you know, you walk through, and you might have somewhat of a destination in mind, but you'll almost always run into unexpected surprises along the way. Yeah, this is quite nice. Got a little lake out here and a park area surrounding it. Very quiet, very peaceful. Okay, I know where I am now. Zhongshan Park. So it's got this trail you can just walk through or jog through, kind of a forested area. And then out here you've got this exercise equipment which locals use. It's nice, it's very basic equipment, but they can get up to some pretty crazy stuff out here sometimes. Some of these old guys, when they get a chin-up bar, they can wow you. There's some tough old dudes out here. And then over here, got a nice basketball court. Got some guys shooting hoops. In case you don't know, basketball is huge in China. They love basketball. But yeah, I mean, you can see big, wide open, spread out area. Over there, we've got the 12 core principles again. And this is an off hour, so that's why it's so empty. I mean, if it was a weekend or something like that, this place would probably be packed. You'll find these chin-up bars all over China, and the locals put these to use. And you'll be surprised, almost anytime I go to the park, there's at least a few old guys. And when I say old, sometimes I mean like guys like 70 years old. It seems like they can just do them forever, and they do them really slow, but they come out here and practice this every day. So, but you'll be surprised if you come to China. There are some tough old dudes in the park. Actually, why am I walking out there on the street? I could be walking through this. This is actually pretty cool. I mean, you'll see trees in every park. That's no big deal, but this is a lot. I mean, they weren't messing around when they were planting these. Well, let's see what these folks are getting up to. She's stretching out, got the gloves on. They take it seriously, I told you. A lot of them wear gloves. Over here, looks like they're playing some cards. They slam them down too. Look, more basketball goals. The ones I saw before were way over there. This is a completely different area. This park is huge. It's empty now, but I'm telling you, evenings and weekends, every basketball court here will be filled up. Well, I was really hoping for a river walk experience, and maybe I'll find one, but from here it doesn't look like it. I'm going onto a bridge. Looks like we're just gonna go right over it, but my thought is that maybe from the bridge I'll be able to see like a little river walk on the ground, and then I could go find it. Okay, we've made it. This is the Songyuan River. This is the third city I've seen this river in, at least the third. I know I've seen it in Harbin, Jilin City, and now Songyuan. You can see some fishermen out there, quite a few of them. And this is an interesting area because it's got little islands kind of in the middle. But it's a huge river and it just goes on and on. Really long river. It's one of the major rivers of the north. This has got to be one of the widest parts of the river, because I mean, look over here at this bank. Go this way, you've got this island in the middle, and it goes all the way out there. I mean, that's pretty far. And there she is, everybody. The mighty Songyuan River. All right, we've made it all the way across. Getting a good bit of exercise today. Out that way in the distance, you can see it kind of branches out. Bet you'd have some cool views over there. It's just doesn't look like it'd be that easy to get over there. Well, actually, I thought I was across it. Turns out this is just a big island in the middle. Because look, there's more. This is insanely wide. And as we get over here, you can see a lot of really shallow areas as we get over here toward the riverbanks. I bet you'd see some pretty interesting bird species out here. And just when you think you've finished crossing the Songyuan River, think again. Unbelievable. I hope this isn't boring you guys, but you just keep seeing really cool visuals out here. Man, that's a lot of cameras. We're here at the Genghis Khan Park. Definitely a unique park. It's got a lot of the elements of a typical Chinese park, of course, but it's also got those Mongolian influence as well. 3 different languages: Mongolian, Chinese, English. That's quite a unique park, I'll say that. A lot of water and just unique pathways. Back in the distance, there's Genghis Khan himself. I did want to share a few thoughts about my experience here in Songyuan. I have to say, my initial good vibes that I got here, just from the friendly people, they were giving me that kind of small town friendliness that you get a lot. But sometimes you go to a small area, and I'm speaking about China, but it probably applies to other countries too. Sometimes you go to a small area and you don't get that feeling. Sometimes it's the opposite. You know, it's kind of hit and miss. So anyhow, so here in Songyuan, I still hold the same opinion. Like, the people I've spoken with have been really, really nice. I've met Mongolians, well, ethnic Mongolians, and they've been really, really friendly, not hesitating to give a smile to a stranger, say hello. I've had a couple people want to stop and take pictures with me, and the interesting thing about that is all of the people that wanted to take pictures with me were actually ethnically Mongolian. One city in particular that I went to in northeastern China, where I didn't get a friendly vibe from the locals. They weren't bad or anything. It just, nobody was smiling, nobody was saying hello, that's for sure. And I was just getting kind of a cold vibe from them. Was Siping City. I didn't get good vibes there, but I am getting very good vibes from Songyuan. It is cool seeing Mongolian written everywhere. I'm not used to that. But when you get to certain areas like border towns, for example, if you go down to southern China and you start getting near the Vietnam border, you'll start seeing bilingual signs. You'll see Chinese and Vietnamese on all the shops and everything. And then in northern China, northeastern China, as you get near Russia, in cities like Jiamusi and Heihe, you'll start seeing Russian and Chinese on the signs. Now, this is my first time to ever see Chinese and Mongolian on the signs. Okay, here we are. I believe in Chinese they would say Chengji Sihan, which sounds pretty close to Genghis Khan. Got quite a few stairs to get up, but I've got to say, it's one of the coolest looking statues that I've seen in China. Well, to my surprise, these are wooden stairs. Kind of surprised they used wood here, because, I mean, they're still sturdy enough, but wood rots. And at some point, they're gonna have to redo the entire thing. It's gonna be a lot of work, but for China, it'll be a small project. If there's one thing they can do, it's build things quickly. When you're right up on it, it's bigger than you would expect. So huge. And to finish off, on the back side of the statue, again, we've got the triple language biography of Genghis Khan. Mongolian, Chinese, and then over here, English. All right, everybody, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed this trip. It's one of those cities and one of those trips that has left me pleasantly surprised. It's better than I expected it to be. I've actually always had an interest in this city because there is a northeastern Chinese comedian that they call Weisar, who is from this city. That's how I learned about this city, and I've always been kind of curious to see where he's from. He's not currently living here, but so I've known about this place a long time. I've always thought it had a beautiful name. I like the name of the city. It just sounds nice. And what do you know, I come here and it's better than I expected. So I've been pleasantly surprised. But it is time to go, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed this little trip and this travel video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And for my supporters out there, whether you're supporting me on the YouTube platform via Super Thanks, whether it's on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, special shout out to you guys. You're amazing. But we're going to close the video out here, going to wrap things up. We'll catch you all in the next one. 下次再见。